Welcome to the Investor Impact Power Talks with Vinney Chopra, where investors gather to share their insights and strategies in the world of multifamily, real estate, and beyond. Get ready to be inspired and equipped for your next level of success.
Hi friends, this is Vinney Chopra from here in Danville, California. And you might be saying, hey Vinny, what are these over here? You know, I wrote this book a few years back, Apartment Syndication Made Easy. It became top seller. I came from India with $7 in my pocket. It says 500 million. It's going to be 1 billion very soon, very soon. I'm right at about 850, 900 million. And then I'm ready for the next billion. Actually, you will see that happening, 2 billion in this book also. The other book I wrote, which has been a very big positivity, has been my life. Always, I've been married 43 years with 2 children, and the beauty is to be positive, the mindset that can take you to all the places in the world. And that's the book that also became big seller. My third book, Senior Assisted Living, is coming. So do yourself a favor, go ahead and click the link below to get free copies, audio copies of these books, even printed copies of these books. Printed means digital if you can't afford it, but I would highly recommend for you to get these or go to Amazon.com. Just go to Amazon. I got it in soft cover, in hardcover, in Kindle, in audio, also the Spanish version of this book also. So let's crush it, guys. I know you can be successful. I know you can do the kind of things that you want to do in life and have the streams of income and know how to really, educate yourself so that you could become a strong force in this world in real estate. I know you can. So take that step. Don't just be on the sideline. Take charge of your life. Take charge of your education. What will you do if you did buy that? Oh, hold on. Where did you get there?
I
Oh,
was
this
looking
is...
at Ellis Act as San Francisco is not that great in terms of tenant
Okay.
laws.
To fight the Ellis law.
Now, if they have a lease, as long as it doesn't have an auto renewal clause, I think you could, as the new owner, say that, you'd have to get legal. Here's the thing, Saurabh, what we don't want to do is, look, where there's problems, there's opportunity.
Mhm.
And right now, California, the real estate has a lot of problems, which means this owner already knows those problems are there. That should give you some negotiating if you can find out all the things up front. Talk to an attorney. Hey, I've got these tenants. Ask for the leases. I want to see the leases. Ask the seller for the leases of all the tenants. And then take those to your attorney and say, find me a clause in here that I can get these people out.
Mhm.
And because Vinny just showed, you have to have a just cause. If the just cause is you're the new owner and you're not renewing that lease anymore, then they're a tenant. Technically, they're a tenant without a lease. Once they're without a lease, they have much less rights. It doesn't mean you still have to go through eviction, but they have less rights than if they were under a lease. So I would start there. Would you agree, Vinny? Get the leases in front of an attorney.
I would say so. I think the thing is the brokers always want to put it in the best limelight, right? The cap rate looked like 5.3, sounded okay, sort of. I saw 5.3 somewhere. And they did some work and everything. But I'm sure the biggest challenge is the rent roll. If these rents were higher, the biggest thing, maybe 4.5 million, maybe 4 million might be a good price. But are you willing to go the legal route to evict them? And then you have to fix the homes too. Let me say that again. I did text you back, right? All these people who have been paying there since 1990, you will need to put a lot of money to get it ready for the new tenant, new resident. So you have to plan capex budget for those, right? Daryl, please go ahead. Uh-huh.
No, that was my wife waving goodbye to me, Vinney.
Oh, okay. Good, good. No, lovely, lovely. That's the other
Say
part,
hi,
right?
Vinney.
And no worries, no worries. I thought you had your hand up. I want to get those balloons. I don't know why the balloons don't come or something. Anyway, but again, we want to work and see if this is the right project for you to, and flat roof is good, looks like a new roof or something, because the house I'm buying in Scottsdale, which I'm closing hopefully tomorrow, it needs a roof. I found out in my due diligence, and the seller is giving me $22,000 to put the brand new roof on my single family home that I'm buying there for the assisted living. But oh no, this roof looks awesome to me. Outside paint looks great. Everything looks great. The biggest challenge I see is the rent roll. So if you find a solution and you talk to an attorney, why not? Say, hey, I'm looking into purchasing a deal here, but what are the laws? Or maybe even go to a forum, in a chat forum with some legal group maybe, and you say, hey, I'm looking at multifamily and the rents are very low. Or even ask the Google to do that. I've done it many times. I say, I have a tenant who's paying this much in San Francisco, and the current rent is this. How can I change the lease? Or throw some questions, right? Then
So-
maybe you will get some answers.
Sorry to interrupt, Vinny.
Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
Wow, go back to the list of the rent roll. Remember when Vinny just pulled up that website, it said if you were going to do substantial renovations. So let's say your value add strategy is to raise the rents on everything. So what you may do is say, okay, all of the units that are vacant and all of the units that are undervalued, like they haven't been refurbished since all these old units.
Yeah.
You're going to go in and you're going to rehab those, and we're going to redo hallways, and you make it impossible to live there, except for the tenants who are paying full price. I think that may fall under that. This is why you really should seek the advice of counsel, probably in San Francisco, who does nothing but deal with
Real estate.
real estate on the landlord side, not on the defense of tenant side. You want somebody on the landlord side, and I think you may have, because of the vacancy. And I would go to the agent is absolutely crazy. You got a 26,953 accurate NOI right now based upon the expenses they gave you. That's a $508,000 purchase price. So, Mr. Broker, tell me how and why I should pay you for my efforts when I make this thing start cash flowing. Why should I pay the seller for that? So, if we're gonna negotiate, I would think this is probably a $2 million property, and if you could get it in that location for $2 million, I think you'd be. Especially if you know going in, you could get these people out. Because if you get all those rents to $3,200, this thing would cash flow like crazy, and those tenants would never leave.
And one thing, I'm so glad you said that, maybe 2,600, right? So if you're doing it right, the big thing is I never really fall in love with the property outside or roof or anything. I say that never marry the property, marry the numbers, right? So we need to be realistic, totally frank, and look at every angle and say, what will it take to buy this? And if that's not the price that the seller can accommodate, then it's not a good deal. See, market rent, I'll change it to 2,600 right away. If you think, or maybe even do another version, right? Because if you're doing 2,600, now it's going to blow it up already down below. And that's the other part I'm going to say, just in 2023, the latest they got a new person in is 2023 March, about a year back at 2400. And I'm sure that person is paying and everything. So even if you got, I think how the vacant ones, you'll have no problem. So maybe in another scenario, you could say present is this. If I were you, okay, do one more for me if you don't mind. Put another column between Y and Z. Huh? Y and Z, please put one more. Okay, now we put the rent, yeah. And then we put now the new vacant ones, 6 of them at 2600. Yeah, 2600. So now we have a little bit better number to look at what will happen to, oh, annual gross. Okay, there we go. So it's 140. Oh, no, the first one should not be 145 on the, oh, okay. Yeah. Annual gross. That should be lower, right? Yeah. Oh, is
Yeah,
it?
so 332K.
Okay. There we go. That sounds
Uh,
right, Rao, I think. So what you're saying is that at 2600 for the 6 units, and we let it stay where everything is. Now the deal is worth about 4 million. There we go. Look at that. But wait a minute, I'll question 118 now. Because 118, if you don't mind, could you do me expense ratio right next to that? So expense ratio is right next to here, 118 divided by 332. So they are saying you could run this property at 35%.
Oh,
Expense them a month or a year.
is
I
it?
don't believe that. It should be 65% or
Yeah.
55%. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was like, there's no way unless it's like a brand new property, an A property or something like that. Vinny, one more thing just came to mind, Saurabh, and I was just looking at this, and I'm just thinking about one option. One option could be a master lease agreement, right? And if they're really saying the numbers that they're saying of market rent, and they're really saying the cap rates are going to be where they're going to be, which nobody knows. Maybe a master lease agreement with a low enough payment that would be still profitable, and then you'll have an option to buy at the same rate. And maybe by that time, if you have the rents to 3200, it could be possible. But still at 3200 pro forma, what will have to be seen is with a 65% expense ratio, are you still making the cash on cash, and is it still at the where you're expecting it to be? That's one thing I'd probably look at.
Got it. What's the master lease? Like you get a master lease for each tenant?
No, this is with the owner. So you are taking over
Right.
the property. They are still the owners, Saurabh, but you take over management of it and you try to do everything, your business plan to increase its value. But you set up the price right now, what that price is, but they still own it. Dave probably has done more master leases than me. Right? But Dave, what would you say?
It's just technically a lease when you have a lease with an option. So you need two things: an agreed upon payment. You need a few things. You agree to a payment, you agree to a term, how many months, and then you have to agree to a price. And what that is technically a contract for deed. You are contracting, like you have a contract that allows you to buy the deed in a certain window of time, and it's an exclusive contract. They can't sell it from out from under you, provided you comply with the laws that you agree to, or the guidelines or the rules and regulations in the lease. Potentially that's an option here, but at the same time, if is this guy really wanting to sell, or this couple really wanting to sell?
They've inherited it. They do want to sell it because they've had enough, and then they're fighting. There's some kind of infighting in here as well. So they do want to get out, but they, I think, want to test out the market first before they come to terms with reality.
Oh, and one more thing just came to mind. Do they have any existing debt on the property?
Free and clear.
Oh, it's free and clear, huh? Okay,
Okay,
got it.
free and clear. Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, I don't know if you guys brought this up or not, but there's only 14 rooms there, not 15. There's no 13.
Huh? Oh, there's no 13. Oh.
Because it's unlucky.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
You're
there's
right.
really
I
only
think it said
14 rooms
14
there.
or 15 outside. Can we look at that? That's a good observation, brother. Let's see
This is
here.
14. Yeah, there are
Oh,
total.
it does say 14. Okay, okay.
The number's
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's why you never want to be on the 14th floor in a high rise
I
because
know.
13th floor.
I know.
Just because you change the
There is
number
a-
doesn't change
you are
the
in the
floor.
air because 13 is in the air. So you are on the that's
Actually,
good.
one thing I'm surprised or maybe I didn't catch up to it, or I 14th floor. So wasn't there like a rule in California that you cannot build on, or in some counties, I believe that you cannot build beyond the second floor or something? There's something. I'm forgetting the exact. That's why there are not so many like low income housing and multifamily, or maybe it was the rule was just recently changed.
Oh, I see. No,
Did,
this is in San Francisco. I would say over there, oh my
uh-huh.
gosh, you could go 4, 5, 6, 10, I think, right? Or something.
Yeah.
Most
Because
of the
that.
homes are.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm not saying like I'm sure that's legally built and
Yeah,
everything, but I remember seeing
yeah,
something like that in California just recently,
sure.
because I know in Washington also something like that happened. Maybe not in the Seattle area, but like
I see.
everywhere else. Yeah.
So I think definitely I would like to say, Shara brother, that the taxes will
Mhm.
be much higher, right? They might be paying very low. How much taxes they are paying? Let me see. Estimated. Oh, it says estimated expenses. They didn't even tell what's right now, the real deal right now. Oh, so they are putting this as estimated at that price. I got you. I got you. They're saying 4.5 million. New owner will have 55,000 year taxes, insurance of about 15. Buyer shall, what is it, something? Shall get a quote.
Did they give a T12 on that?
Let's see.
It's not exactly a T12 with just basic expenses that they've created. It's more like a mom and pop kind of a thing. This is the property tax.
I see. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Yeah, see, you have to be a detective, big detective, to really look at everything. For common areas, like for the whole year, $600, who would do it? There's $50 a month, and it's such a big property, right? Up and down. Pest control, 125 for it's more. Oh, 18,000? What am I looking at?
Wait, is that
Income.
wait, water is gosh, they pay a lot for water.
Oh, wait a minute. So the water, it's a all bills paid? Wait a minute. So
Yeah.
they're not putting rubs into play at all. So whatever these people are paying in rent, right? Maybe the owner is paying water, electricity, or they have individual meters. Does it say something?
Yeah, the
It
electric
does
is
say
probably common areas.
Common
because-
areas, yeah. Electric might be the one which is they pay themselves, but water is master built unless they ask each tenant or resident to pay flat fee, right? I
They
call
probably
it.
have radiant heating though, and that would be required that you supply that probably in the state of California.
It's the pipe heat, right? I think it's
Yeah, but
the
I don't
pipe.
think, I actually don't think that would have anything to do with the water. Normally you'd have the sewers, like water and sewer, same bill, and the sewer might be really high because look at the garbage prices. Garbage collection is pretty high. But yeah, it's
Wow,
probably,
that's a lot of money going out oh my gosh. I'm just thinking if they are showing this as expenses, I bet they are not charging the residents.
yeah, you
So,
could. say
so
that
the
every
one
month.
person who is paying 660, they're living for free.
Just pay a homeless guy to come there and pick up the trash and just take it out to the street. That's what they do a lot of times in San Fran. So
Saurabh, I think we have really beaten the dead horse. Sorry, brother. But it's good to bring this up because unless we really dig into these things, there are people who'll pay, right? Because the brochure, they saw it and they say, oh my gosh, it's 5.3 cap rate. That's pretty good cap rate because in California, it should be 3.2 or 4.5. It's Russian Hill. Oh, let me buy it, right? Or something. But no, please dig into maybe some more questions. And next week, we could even expand on it if you think you found some new information. Huh? Thank you. Thank you, Saurabh. Brother Franco, what's going on with the conversion?
We last week was a little bit slow, but we got some insurance quotes. So we started dialing those numbers in. The one thing that I haven't gone to just yet, but I was lucky enough to meet with the contractor that can do all the work. Met with him about a week, 10 days ago or so, and he just happened to help somebody do, like, I think it's a 14 unit or 14 bed in Orange County, and he's going to hook me up with that owner because I really want to get a feel for what it's like in Orange County. I think that by the end of this month, we should have the first one up and run, the licensing part going. I think we're finalizing all, okay, how are we going to differentiate the ownership piece? So by the end of the month, I think that one will get going. And we've also started sending out feelers to a fair amount of realtors to start looking for single family, single story, 5-6 bedrooms, 2,800 square. This is what we're looking for in the Inland Empire, Fountain Valley, your B neighborhoods. So while we're really focused or zoned in on this first one, I think we're starting to lay the groundwork on how we could expand into other ones.
Oh, wow.
So that's where it's at. And I think by the end of, like I said, in another 2 to 3 weeks, I think we'll be moving forward with the licensing. Now, I do have one question for you. I've gotten some mixed information. The gal that's helping with the licensing stated that in California, it's the LLC getting the license and you don't need an actual operator on the application.
But somebody has to put their license so that the health department and the fire department and everything, right, who make sure that everything is in compliance, it has to be the owner does not have to have a license. I will not have a license in Arizona, for example, but I have to have operators. Oh, by the way, I think I mentioned it last week or week before. We didn't meet last week. That one operator with one license can only look after 2 RALs in Arizona. So maybe it's the same in California. Let's find that out.
That I just sent a follow-up email earlier today. Can you be clear on whether or not I need an operator that's licensed on the application to get going? Is that what you're saying?
Okay, good point. See, I think my company's name is going there, which is Desert Bloom Homes, Desert Cove LLC, right? So
Sure.
that is the property and that's the one getting license.
Correct.
So I own that fully 100%, but the operator's name and her license is going to the health department, if I can.
And that's part of the application process for
exactly.
your LLC.
Otherwise, they won't even look at it. They won't even.
So in order to get the LLC approved to operate, you need an operator with a license attached to that application.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I want to get clarification on because she made it seem like you didn't.
Oh.
So again, I'll get a clarification on that.
Yeah, I think you cannot just operate without a license, number one. And then the second thing is you won't be accepted or given the COC, that's the certificate of occupancy. Certificate of occupancy. Certificate of OO? Certificate of occupancy.
They just call it CO.
CO, yeah, they
CO.
call it CO, certificate of occupancy, unless a license is attached, has to be attached.
Okay.
You know, because now my 2 homes in Arizona, Lori has already somebody who she lives only, I think, 3 minutes away from my Scottsdale property, the new one. And she lives very close by, and she'll be managing that one and my Desert Cove, same person. So I was thinking that one can manage 4. Remember I mentioned? So
Yeah.
that was totally wrong. I thought because even I read somewhere, in some states they allow maybe, but in Arizona, I found out only one person with a license can be at 2 properties.
Correct.
But then I think somebody else, let me rephrase that. Somebody said, oh, there are certain operators who have license, but they don't have homes. So they will let you put their license on the home, so that make sure that you are good operators, because otherwise their license will be revoked, right? That's possible too. Just like brokers, I think I just found out, even brokers, some brokers can, put your license with your management company and not be even associated with day-to-day management, but they can park their license and get paid some money, is how it's called. Again, I'm just trying to explain in the best terms I know, but please do full search on that, right? Yeah, yeah.
So
But
Vinny, is there a
Yeah.
limitation on the number of beds for these 2 particular
6.
properties?
In California, I
6.
was told it's 6, right, brother?
6.
Yeah.
But you could go to 10, but you
Mhm.
have to then set up certain requirements from the building code perspective and everything. And in Arizona, it's 10. One single family home can get 10. In Texas, it's 16. Wow. One single family home can have 8 beds, 8 rooms, let's say, and they could share the room. Wow. So you can have 16 residents over there, seniors.
That's all for this episode of The Investor Impact. Stay tuned for the next episode and don't miss out on the opportunity to learn and grow alongside this powerful inner circle.